Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate, episode 3, Hear Me Roar. We've had some fantastic guests so far. A lot of behind the scene action, which I'm hoping everyone is following along on Instagram and God knows what other channels we're pumping this through. What's happening today with you?
So I think, you know what blew my mind this week? You're on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn, so are probably most of the people we work with.
Yep.
Have you verified yourself on LinkedIn?
So I've tried to.
Such a pain in the ass. It is so freaking hard.
Yeah.
I got around to doing it.
Yeah.
You know the most annoying thing? I had to unverify myself yesterday. I don't use my married name for work. I use my maiden name. So it changed my name, my profile. And then I got all messages from people thinking that I'd either just got married or that I'd broken up with my husband.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to change my name back and
I
unverify.
tried to do it. And then for some reason, I didn't have a document.
Your physical passport
I think that's what it was. I didn't think it. But then I'm like thinking, why do I need to verify anything to anyone that's sort of like not necessarily the bank or my lawyer?
Exactly. And your passport document scanned
I'm not sure.
Things
So I've actually
with
not
your
done
ID.
it.
I undid mine and they actually delete the verification, which I was really glad about because when I asked someone else this week, they said, no way would I put those details.
Yeah, I was nervous to put it in as well.
Oh my God, yeah. So that's what's going on in my world.
Wow. But are you a LinkedIn Plus subscriber?
Yes.
Yeah. I find that the content that I push out to get our messaging and marketing out there, if I am a LinkedIn, what do they call it? Like a premium?
Yeah.
It gets a lot more amplification than not.
Yeah.
Speaking about legal documents, we've got an amazing guest coming up on this show today, Marianne from Legalite. I kind of want to lean into the segment and talk to her about this, but just a little bit of a high touch level here. Marianne and I first connected in 2017. I think she either finished gym or a yoga session, but I very distinctly remember her showing up with her hair all up in a bun, wearing Lululemons, and she just come from a workout of some description, yoga or other. And she said she was going to start this law firm. I was like, cool, we can help you. I think she took a 2-person or maybe a 3-person office in our Richmond in 2017. And let me tell you, the rest of the story is a rocket ship.
I've seen all the awards that she's won. I'm looking forward to speaking to her.
Now, we aren't competing with each other because I'm not a lawyer, but we are actually doing a transaction on a new site into New South Wales, hot take.
So cool.
And Marianne's firm, should I say, is representing the landlord. So my lawyers are in dialogue and in, transaction with the Legalite team, trying to work out the agreement for us to progress on a property. And so it's come full circle.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to have her on the show.
Well, let's chat to her.
All right. But first... Guys, you've seen me put out content for years. It all started with James Shadrack from Purpose Productions. We've filmed over 800 vlogs, several hundred different pieces of content that has helped me take my business to the next level. We use Purpose Productions for all the content, pods, vlogs, and storytelling that we produce. Check out purposeproductions.co to learn how James and his amazing team can help you scale your business and get your message out there. She's here in person.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
I
much.
won't welcome you to Cubes because you're already part of the Cubes family.
No, I'm an OG.
Big time. 2017, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was late 2017. I'd started the firm from home.
Yep.
Working out of the second bedroom of my apartment.
Yep.
And then took up the Cube space.
Yeah, I
late
remember.
2017.
Yeah, amazing. It's been such a fantastic journey. We are, as I said a little bit earlier, we're trying to close a deal on a property, our first New South Wales site, but I actually don't think it'll be the first New South Wales site that we open.
Oh.
Just
Exciting.
yeah, I'll let you know next episode on what's happening there. But it was such a, like, for me, working with the landlord, time and place is the landlord. Working with them and then them saying, we've agreed on our heads of agreement, our lawyers are going to handle it from here. And to see the Legalite team roll in, I think it's your husband.
Yeah, Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
So I've had one call with Jared.
Yeah.
Where it was sort of like a round table, and then the lawyers have now gone off, or your team has
They
gone
take it
off,
from
and
there.
Jared's gone off, and our team has gone off. And I got an email yesterday saying that I think we're close to getting something maybe early next week.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm really excited about, firstly, that announcement, but like more excited that it's your firm. And what I thought was really cool, although Jared wasn't in the office, is on that round table, my lawyers are dialing in from their firm. I was in my office and Jared was upstairs.
Yeah.
In the same building.
the same
That's
building.
crazy.
Yeah, because we're still
Crazy,
at Cubes
crazy.
at East Melbourne.
East Melbourne, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Do you
What a
want?
spectacular venue that is. I checked
Oh,
out
it's
your
amazing.
Instagram to see what you were doing, and then I saw the Cubes East Melbourne stuff all over it. Spectacular.
Such a good spot.
I would love to know how you got into law and why and what that journey started like, because it's certainly more male dominated. My sister's best friend is a female lawyer, but other than that, I don't think I know many female lawyers.
Oh, wow. Well, interestingly, the majority of graduates coming out of law school are female.
Really?
You probably don't think there's many female lawyers because what will generally happen is that as they progress through their career, they kind of cap out at a certain point. They,
Right.
will maybe start a family, and then that can really impact their careers, which is, something that I've been very conscious of. I've got two children, but conscious to not limit my team's, capacity to grow and progress through their careers, because it is, as you say, like it's quite rife in the legal industry.
Yeah, super interesting now that you say that. I do know a heap of female lawyers, but they've all gone into something else. So started their own businesses, a lot of them.
Yeah,
So
which is awesome.
how did law set you up for running your own business?
Not well. When I was a lawyer, you don't really get trained on how to run a business, how to manage people. But I always had this just absolute love for client service and to innovate and to do things differently. And what I found I practiced in traditional private practice for about 10 years before I started Legalite. And I was always, coming up with new ideas, but they were either falling on deaf ears or in one ear out the other and nothing would happen. So when I started Legalite, I was at a point in my life that I was actually pretty burnt out, in a constant state of anxiety. And I thought, I'm just going to do this my way, myself, work out of my second bedroom, like I said. And I was prepared to take a substantial pay cut for the trade-off of, doing law the way that I wanted to do it and being in charge of my own destiny.
You won an award as a sole practitioner, is that right?
I did. I won Sole Practitioner of the Year in the Lawyers Weekly Awards. And in the first year, Legalite was voted Australia's best law firm in the NAB Professional Services Award. And then we went on to win it again the following year. So I knew I was onto something really cool.
You sound like Michael Jordan. We need a three-peat here. Back to back.
Yeah, I backed off after the third year.
It's embarrassing when you just keep winning, doesn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, it was really, at the time, it was really, Legalite is a completely fixed fee firm. We don't have the billable hour. We're also completely paperless. It's a bit more common now, but back in 2017, it was almost unheard of. And the firm just kept growing and growing. I hired my first employee within the first 3 months. I didn't end up taking a pay cut that year. I actually doubled my salary.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I had no anxiety. I was like, you know, making time for exercise. When I went to visit Creative Cubes, I'd just come from CrossFit.
CrossFit, okay. Thank you for clarifying.
And it was, I was just like enjoying my lifestyle. It was, you know, work and my personal life were truly integrating for the first time ever. And so I started extending that same flexibility to my team from day one.
It's amazing. Yeah. Nice to see that in the workplace.
Yeah, for sure.
And so Jared was a lawyer?
Yes, Jared and I met in our very first legal job together.
Wow.
As young graduate clerks. And he stayed at that firm for 5 years and I was only there for a year. We got married 3 years after we met. And then he joined Legalite 2 years ago to head up the property practice. He's a property lawyer. I'm commercial and franchise.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's so much I want to talk to you about off the record around franchise and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's some really cool things happening.
Yeah, cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I don't like, I've spoken to Jared. I've seen him on a Hangout or a Teams or whatever device we used. But I've never known him in the business.
No, yeah, because he only joined a couple of years ago. And it was a really good time in his career to join and a good time in Legalite's trajectory as well.
Yeah.
We'd always been a commercial and franchising firm. And then we were starting to attract bigger clients and being able to offer that full service commercial advice was really important part of our growth.
Yep.
We've also introduced an employment law practice as well in the last few months.
Amazing.
So, yeah, just to, really kind of be able to be that full service offering for our clients. And they've been so relieved that they can still come to us with the same service that they know and trust on the, you know, fixed fee model, paperless, the complete integration with their teams.
Yep.
So it's been just
and
so
so if you look back on the business now, not look back on the history of the business, but if you're just kind of peeking into the window of the business, is it the business model across multiple verticals that you perfected in one that you've now rolled to the others that's been the success?
Yes, part of the success, yes. Almost even tapping into what I know about franchising and implementing that in my own law firm. Because franchising is all about systems and it's all about consistent experience for clients, irrespective of who they deal with.
Yep.
And I've kind of taken that approach in the firm from day one. Like we've got operations manuals, systems, training, you know, teaching new staff members the Legalite way. Because you can be a great lawyer and that's, you know, that you get that training in law school or wherever you've worked, but you can't get the training on the business development, on client experience, client service, unless someone's actually mentoring you and teaching you, which you don't, like I said, you don't get that in traditional law firms.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, incredible. And so who is your clients now? So what sort of size organisation or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We act for a lot of large franchisors.
Yeah.
We've been working with KX Pilates for about 6 years now. They're on our legal.
Aaron's a good friend of mine.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
was
that's
at KX
amazing.
this morning.
Oh, are you? Yes.
We actually had... That's
such a good business.
what's his name? Who's the founder?
Aaron.
Aaron Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's an EOer.
Yeah.
And
yes.
somehow he ended up in my inbox through EO because we're the home of EO, like we're the EO clubhouse here in Melbourne. And we had a construction guy called Aaron Smith.
Oh, yeah.
It is a common name.
Well,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a
and so
common name.
he would get every second or third email on every other deal that we were putting together.
Oh,
And
no.
he'd constantly write back, wrong Aaron Smith.
Yeah.
So, and then I ended up going with him to an EO function actually we went out to Urban Surf at Tullamarine.
Oh, that was the
Essendon.
best function
You went to
ever.
that one?
Sensational.
Yeah.
Surfing
And-
out the back with
yeah.
the
Oh,
world
how
surfing
cool. Yeah, I've
guy.
heard of that.
It's
That's
amazing.
a concept.
My daughter and I surf there on Saturday mornings. Haven't done it this year. And we still have some credit notes to pull up from them. But yeah, surfed with him and
Where is it? Is that in Port Melbourne?
No,
Tullamarine.
at Tullamarine.
Oh,
Near the
Tullamarine.
Yeah,
airport.
right next to
Yeah.
behind
Cool.
Essendon's training field, actually.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
But yeah, ended up surfing with Aaron Smith, and then sort of humbly sort of like let him know who I was without trying to cop a smack in the face, because
He's an awesome person to chat
yeah.
to. Like what he's done with KX, you know, it was Reformer Pilates was not really a done thing when he started it.
Yeah.
And it
is that where you train?
Yeah, love it. Twice a
'Cause
week.
I see
I
you on
post
your-
every time I'm there.
to
Love
other
it.
reformers. So we
Yeah.
love them. They've been, like I said, a client for 6 years. We're completely integrated with their team. We love their team.
The
and
CEO's a legend.
Selena, yeah,
Oh,
she's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
and look,
KX?
that's really important to us as well, to work with clients that we love and that love us. Like it really is a truly trusted relationship, and
Totally.
we have each other's backs and we celebrate each other as well. And then we do work for quite a few other large franchisors in the fitness space predominantly. On the commercial side, we do some marketing work for DoorDash. We've done some work for Who Gives a Crap. Like a whole variety of kind of medium to large businesses,
Amazing.
especially franchising in commercial space. And then Jared acts for a lot of property developers and landlords, across leasing and property developments.
Well, so far so good.
Yeah.
I kind of want to like stay in the background a little bit because I don't want conflict.
Yeah.
And I don't want Jared to hand me my lunch, but
You won't get that from
No,
us. We
no, I
even
know.
with people on the other side,
I'm being cheeky.
we work we work so collaboratively, and people occasionally I'll get potential clients coming to us and they say, we want a bulldog, and I'll say, well, we're not it.
yeah.
We're not bulldogs.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
work collaboratively with the other party. We're not litigation lawyers. Like, we're commercial lawyers. We don't need to be antagonistic in
Yeah.
the way that we do things. And ultimately, you know, it's about outcomes for the clients. So
That reputation of being a bulldog and being on the other side of a legal firm that has been like that as well, where does that come from? And do you think that's going to wash out, or will that always be there? The egos, the
it comes from
arrogance?
the real old school way of doing law.
Yeah.
I mean, typically it's your older white male, where, you know, just that approach is maybe what's worked for them. It's gotten them to
I
the
feel like it's
partnership.
generational, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't talk to my kids, not in a bad way, but I don't talk to my kids the way my parents spoke to me, my grandparents spoke to my
Totally agree.
parents, right? Like we're just like, it's evolution and there's change and there's
Yeah.
difference. But I think some of that, I can speak from like history of war-torn families. So my grandparents survived the Holocaust, and you know, they had offspring of children, and actually my wife's grandparents also came out on the same boat with my grandparents.
Wow.
And that generation, because of their experience, were very different.
Yeah.
And then my parents' generation were a watered down version of that, you know, in terms of like strength and posture and fearfulness that someone's going to come and take something. And now, you know, my kids are, yeah, you can have it, no problem. You know, like it's sort of,
It's so different.
it's very
I
different.
think in some ways we know better, so we do better.
Yeah.
And then, but as you said, there's also the generation. Well, like the different generations are totally different. The legal industry is so traditional. It's so institutionalized. So it probably comes from, to answer your original question, a lot of that just generational, traditional way of doing things.
Yeah. And I guess you get that in every industry. Certainly in the medical industry, you've got more old-fashioned thinking when it comes to power.
Well, I think data is actually really serving us as human beings today. Like if I look back on my dad's generation, you know, it was, don't hold this against us, breakfast McDonald's, maybe a bit of lunch McDonald's and dinner McDonald's, but we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the last time I had McDonald's, but I do remember as a kid, please don't sue us, McDonald's. Every Sunday night, my mum would say, do you want to have a McDonald's? Because she's from the UK. Do you want to have a McDonald's? And we would have it, and, you know, nine times out of 10, I'd be vomiting within hours after.
Really?
Oh, yeah, horrible. Just could never do it. And so I abstained, but didn't really know why. And now
No,
the
you don't
data
know.
and the knowledge that we have and the science and the
So much
access to
more
information allows us to engage in great companies like yours, Kate, on healthy, nutritious stuff. And then for me as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure likewise for you, it's about client output and serving our mission and vision. So the fuel that I put in my body is really important because I've got stuff that I need to execute on, but we are way off topic in terms of legal stuff
I
here.
think it's still relevant. I mean, legal aside, but as an entrepreneur, like, and that was my experience. Like, I had anxiety, I had burnout, I was not functioning at my best self.
Yep.
That's a part of the job, though, in these big firms, right?
Yeah, it is. It's part and parcel.
And if you keep going, one day you'll make partner.
Exactly.
You'll just have a heart attack before you retire.
No, details. We don't need details.
Or you'll have a baby and then be pretty much just squeezed out. Yeah. So, yeah, your health is just so important as a business owner, any business owner. And that's something that I'm reminded of every now and then as well. So
You're a CrossFitter, so that is
gonna say.
intense. That is like
Well,
next level.
not only is she not
exercise.
CrossFit, I mean, like she's working with KX as well. So
Yes.
it's sort of like you got to eat your own dog food, unfortunately, sometimes in a positive way.
I do KX as well.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it as, Reformer Pilates. I think it's, a really great offering.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, legalite.com.au.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legalite. I'll put all of the information in the show notes so you can just
Absolutely
click
awesome.
if you're listening to this on the fly. I have had the privilege of watching you just thrive. And I'm very, very, I'm not emotional, but I'm very passionate and I've got nothing to do with your success, but I have had such massive admiration for everything that you've achieved because
Thank
every
you.
time I think or speak or throw myself back, it's you walking in your Lulus to, hey, this is what I do. And we're like, hey, we can support you with
And
that.
you have supported us. Like, I feel really grateful to Creative Cubes, and I think your team have got some of the best like customer service
Yes.
that I've seen and experienced myself, and we're still with you, like,
Yes.
8 years later.
Yes.
So we've moved, but
Yes.
we moved to East Melbourne. But yeah, just being part of the Creative Cubes structure as well, you operate in such a similar way that we do. Like, we're so aligned.
Yes.
So I do
someone,
feel like you have been part of our success.
well, thank you. But someone reached me yesterday and wrote the most humbling text message to me, and all I could say is like, I'm just a reflection of you. And I say the same here to you, right? Like, because you're doing what you're doing, you're inspiring me, and so
that's
I
so
want to make
lovely.
sure that like I'm on my game.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
you're an
that's so
important
lovely.
you're an important part of this community that we're building, but you're an important person in the wider world. And
thank you.
genuinely, like, I want to give because I'm constantly looking up, and I'm trying to continuously elevate.
Yeah.
And the old saying that we used to have back in the day here at Cubes was like, you surround yourself with like-minded professional go-getters, and you'll find yourself. Justin joined Creative Cubes, begrudgingly joined Creative Cubes. It was too far for him to travel. He didn't want to drive so far, and he's come here and he's like, my business is on a whole new level. And I hear that and I'm like, shit, we need to elevate up because Justin's like up here now and I've got to be up there with him. Not me personally, but the company's got to be up there from a support structure perspective. But like, if I was wearing a hat, I'd take it off and bow down. But like, it's really, really inspiring. For me as well, if I can touch on the female thing, I grew up my dad passed when I was young. So I grew up with a single mum who's still single today. She's loved and lost, and she's quite content with that. Although would prefer her situation to be different. I got 2 sisters.
No.
I married a girl who has 2 sisters.
Oh, wow.
And we've had 2 daughters.
Oh, wow.
So the women in my life,
You're just meant to be
I'm
around women.
always looking up to them, not down to them. And I hear about this like inequality in big business. And for me, naively, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like looking up at my mum, my sisters, my wife, even my kids. They're littler than me, but I'm always looking up. My daughter's just such an inspiration. Well, both of them are just such an inspiration to me. I actually walked my daughter home the other day. We went past Oakberry. Are you working with Oakberry? They're a massive growing franchise.
No,
Yeah,
we're
And
not.
they're incredible.
acai
Yeah.
bowls.
Might have to
Yeah,
intro
amazing.
us.
My kids
Oh yeah,
are
I don't know them, but if they're listening, you guys need to
I'll
get with
just walk
Legalite.
past and intro
Yeah.
myself.
Oh yeah, you'll do that. $20 at a time.
Yes.
In fact, on North Bondi, they've got a little hut, a little caravan, and that thing just prints money all day.
Yes.
I think I had
Yeah.
3 a day on North Bondi when I was there over the summer for 10 days. But I was walking back with my daughter. She's eating her oakberry after high school. She's dressed in a uniform. She's looking like a young professional woman. And I just said to her, if I die tomorrow, and I don't want to die, and I'm not going to die tomorrow, I just want you to know how proud I am of you. You're amazing. And I just feel so privileged to be your father. And it's a very similar thing. I'd take my dad hat off and put my entrepreneur hat on. I can't thank you enough for trusting us
Toby, that's so
with
sweet.
with housing your business and the teams and even the dogs over the years.
Yeah,
They've come
I had
in and-
Charlie, he passed away last year, but yeah, he was such a big part of Creative Cubes at Cremorne as well. Like
Yeah.
he was with me every day. I would go in early sometimes. He'd be there, just the two of us in
Yeah.
the Creative Cubes office.
And we're
So-
pet friendly and we love it.
Yeah.
A big part of my history was in pets. But I take my dad hat off, I put my entrepreneur hat on, and I was like, wow, thank you.
Thank you
and
so much.
wow, what a journey. And I'm very proud of you, if I can
Thank
say
you
that.
so much,
Not in
Toby.
a
Of course you can.
in a big brother thing, but I just again throwing back to those
That's
Lululemons
so
to where
sweet.
you are today. Every other month when I log on to LinkedIn, I see another Legalite winning another award and
So good.
Marianne being mentioned in some sort of press release or some big piece, and it's amazing. So
Oh,
congratulations.
Thanks, Toby. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. So I'm going to link all of that,
Yeah.
and we'll circle back on maybe some of the lessons we've learnt
Yeah.
after this break.
Amazing.
Thank you. All right.
weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
So that was Marianne from Legalite. Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, amazing. And I love that she started as a sole practitioner, won awards there, found her confidence, then scaled her team, not just in one area. Like she's saying, she's gone from the commercial law and the franchising to now having the property with the husband in there too. Incredible journey, and yeah.
Yeah, for me, I actually love her courage. So the recognition that she actually called out that she was burnt out, she was
Yes.
suffering from anxiety, and physically pulled herself out of that environment to say there must be a better way.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of courage.
And to put that through now with her business, with the other employees and employing other women, that she knows what to look out for and how to look after them so
Yeah.
that they stick around.
It's no
not
wonder
like
she's
the other
winning.
big firms where
Yeah.
maybe they don't have a job when they're coming back after babies.
Yeah, we've talked about this before on the show. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And some people just kind of go through the motions. I joked about if you keep up, if you can continue to hack the pressure of the law firm and sort of work your way through not work your way through, but tolerate the anxiety and stress and burnout, you might make partner. And for a lot of people, they're aspiring for that level, but people don't realize
At what cost?
at what cost,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wants to win, but they're not prepared to lose
Yeah.
in order to win. And I think that's been the biggest call out from this episode,
Yeah.
which is Marianne decided there was a better way to win
Yeah,
for herself.
that's right.
And she
yes.
didn't care what that looked like on the outside. She just knew internally what she needed to do to look after herself. And 8-9 years later, she's a runaway train in terms of success. She's earning a good living.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a great family and work-life balance. And so for me, that's the biggest takeaway from this episode.
Do you know what mine is? She didn't have to turn into that bulldog
Yeah.
to win the clients.
Yeah.
And I think being on the receiving end of working with firms like that, why?
Yep.
And who is the person that's asking for that bulldog? Because I can tell you, I wouldn't want to work with them in my organisation.
Yep.
Who goes for someone's throat? It's awful.
Yeah.
I
don't know
There's
who
other
wakes
ways
up
of
every
doing
day.
things.
Yeah, I don't know who wakes up every day wanting to take someone's throat out, right?
I know, right?
That
Yeah.
takes a special
They're not
a
accused.
special.
Don't let them in.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we don't let those people in. Wow, what a great episode.
So good.
Great call out to Marianne. Jared, please go light on me through these negotiations if we haven't already closed the deal by the end of next week, by the time this episode airs. And guys, legalite.com.au, it's in the show notes. Go at it. Thanks.